I'm hot, people. No, I did not, Mom. Try to eat.
Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, new team, it's the same dream. New Knicks City uniform, they stay clean. I just caught mine off of Fanatics in the garden with my hands in the air, we back at it.
All right. What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing okay. Sorry for the delay. I was rushing back home, but I made it. Okay, I'm here. That's all right. We're here now. We're here. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Salute to you all. Shout out to the New York Knicks once again for giving us something to be hopeful about, making it at least getting it a little closer to being a series. If we tie it up, it'll definitely be a series. So, but once again, thank you guys for tuning into SKF Weekly. I am your man, Ron. That is my brother. Oh, wait. Okay. This is Memorial Day. So my guys, John and Jose are enjoying their holiday off. And I am here holding it down, rocking you. You know how we do. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Salute to you all. I appreciate you all. Happy Memorial Day once again to everybody. Once again, blessings and thoughts, prayers, and thankfulness to those who have served and helped us all to be able to enjoy life the way we see it. Our freedom is not taken for granted. Every day is a blessing, and we know we have other people to help thank for continuing to keep us, in the mind state to be able to enjoy, the ability to move the way we move. Not everybody could do that, so we have to appreciate it and enjoy it and respect it. That being said, shout out to the chat. I hope you guys are doing well. It's always good to see you guys. Happy Monday night. We feel a little bit of a relief, huh? I mean, I know we were all kind of stressing before game 3, and then watching game 3 as it was coming down to the wire. I'm sure people were feeling a little stressed. I know I was. So I'm glad that the Knicks took care of business. I'll be honest with you, for whatever reason, this Knicks team has become a lot better over the years, especially with the addition of Jalen Brunson. Like in those close moments in fourth quarters of games, we in the past, we never used to be able to pull out the victories in those moments, but we've been able to do it better. But I'm still shell-shocked, man. Every time we get into the fourth quarter and there's like 3 minutes left and it's a close game, I'm always like on pins and needles. So it just is what it is. I never feel comfortable. But shout out to them. Shout out to, we talk a lot about Tom Thibodeau's stubbornness and hoping that he can be flexible when it comes to his rotations and his lineups. And in game 3, he actually displayed some of this. Now, was he forced to? Yeah, we know. We lost the first 2 games. We had to figure out something to change things up and throw a little different look out there. So we went with the big lineup of Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns starting. But it didn't end there, because guys right off the bat early got into foul trouble. I mean, Cat had picked up some early fouls. Brunson picked up some early fouls. Deuce McBride picked up 3 early fouls. Knicks were in a situation where they had to call on some names that we haven't seen really get a lot of burn for this team. You know, DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet. So they were really, you know, they played some good minutes. And, you know, maybe they didn't do a lot offensively. Shamet did hit a 3. But the point is, the time that they were out there, they were active. They were valuable on the defensive side. They were, you know, hungry because they haven't played. So it's kind of like that whole thing about being energized, getting your moment, and trying to make the best of your moment, but also the fact that they went out there with some much needed energy to run around with these Indiana Pacers. We needed that. That's how you slow a team that runs around, you know, all the time down. You need to keep throwing some bodies at them that can run with them and be right there and defend them like in their face. So I hope Tom Thibodeau gets it. I hope everything he did, even though it was out of necessity, isn't left there. I hope he continues to make moves to help better the team and understand that, you know what, this worked, but it worked for a reason. Now, obviously, we know that Indiana's going to come out and adjust. What they're going to do, we don't know yet. But they're definitely going to do something because Rick Carlisle is a really good coach. And he does make in-game adjustments very well. So we got to see what he does. And see how the Knicks respond to that. And hopefully we have another level of adjustments that we can make. But I do like the fact that I think that's going to help. I think playing extra guys, especially extra guys that are defenders, you know, like DeLon Wright, you know, if nothing else, you know, he can defend. Landry Shamet, I mean, I say he's one of the best defenders out there because he's always in somebody's face and they still hit the shot, but at least he's active. You know what I mean? He's very active. Like he runs around, he uses his energy, and maybe the Knicks just need a little of that. You know, somebody just to run around and stay with these guys. So we'll see how it translates going forward. But I feel very confident in the fact that if he continues to do that, I think the Knicks will be in better shape. I think that you know, another thing that we got to figure out is how to get Jalen Brunson comfortable again, back on the same page that he was on before. Because he hasn't really looked comfortable out there, and that's shout out to Indiana for throwing a lot of different blitzes at him, putting, you know, defenders on him that will not let up, like they stay on Jalen Brunson. And that's part of the reason why they pick up, you know, ticky-tack fouls too, because they're so close to him. He knows what to do to draw the foul. And Naismith, for example, Naismith is very aggressive. So that's why he picks up fouls all the time, which we got to see if that's even a factor, because that he did hurt his ankle in the last game. He came back, but you guys all know when you get something sore, it doesn't really flare up until after the game is over and you're resting. So we'll see how effective he is in being able to play for them tomorrow. And even if he does play, you know, how good will he be on a bum ankle? I mean, you know, you can give people cortisone shots and stuff to make the numb it and make the pain go away a little bit, but it creeps up and you feel, you know, that I can't really jump off this. You feel it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, man, but I'm definitely excited for the fact that it's 2-1. You know, the Knicks had a chance to really turn this series around. Like this, I don't want to say turn it around. I mean, this series could have been very different had the Knicks came out the gate and won that first game, but it is what it is. We move on from here. This is the reality. It's over. Nothing we can do about it now. Once again, shout out to the chat. Crim's dad is in the building, a member of the SKF Army. Salute to you, my guy. Good to see you. Lena Franklin is here. Let's go, Lena. Good to see you. Said, welcome, Knicks family. I'm happy that we won last night. Let's see if we can keep that energy for tomorrow's game. I like that. I agree. Nostalgic Nick is in the building. What's going on? Appreciate you with the fire emojis. Wonder Woman is in the building. Salute to you, Wonder Woman. Good evening, Ron, John in the chat. Hey, I hope you had a great time yesterday because I know you were at the watch party. So I hope you enjoyed yourself. And I mean, at least the outcome worked out. So that's good. And let's go. Shout out to you. JJ's in the building. Said, Ron, salute, bro. Shamit and Wright defense changed the game last night. Plus 2+ defenders. I agree. They definitely helped. I mean, they were the reason why the Knicks won, in my opinion. That small lineup and what it did, and then obviously, the aggression and the scoring of Karl Anthony Towns. Just that's what we needed. We needed to get stops, and we needed to score points to capitalize. Because I don't know, you guys were noticing earlier in the game there was a point where the Knicks were getting stops, but they weren't scoring. We could not get over the hump. And then there was a point where the Indiana Pacers had that 13-point lead for I don't know how long. It seemed like no matter what we did, they kept maintaining that 13-point lead. So, but they kept chipping away, man. They kept fighting. Shout out to Rasul Thomas in the building. What up, Rasul? Good to see you. JJ's said happy memorial. Good thoughts, my guy. David Smith is in the building. What up, David? He said salute to Ron in the chat. Cat saved the season. Cat had one of the greatest quarters in Knicks playoffs history. That's true. That is true. That's fair. I think he did. Yeah. Listen, if it wasn't for Cat, I don't know what we would do. I mean, but really, I'm not going to also discount those bench guys playing that defense, because if they didn't get us at least to keep these guys within striking distance, man, because it could have been blowout city. So it's a combination of those bench guys and Cat. They did everything to get that victory. So shout out to them. Shout out to Corey Lindsay in the building. Ron, salute. What up, my guy? What up, bro? Good to see you. Manny's in the building. What up, Manny? Says salute, Ron. It's obvious to me now that Halliburton plays like Steve Urkel from Family Matters. Hey, maybe he does, man. Jay Chosen in the building. What up, Jay? Good to see you. He says facts. Salute to you, my guy. Shout out to Double D in the building. Said David Smith agreed. Without Cat's fourth quarter, we're burnt toast. That's a fact. Jay Chosen says, me too. I really pray he stays this way. Yeah, I hear you. Neesmith ankle could be a key. It could be. Crimsdad said, with Cat's last 2 games and first 3 quarters, we were in the oven getting toasted, but he got us out in the fourth. I agree. I mean, listen, that's the thing. And that's kind of what I alluded to before the series started, but really after game 2, after game 2, you really notice it. There's such a big difference between the styles, right? And so it has to do with the Knicks figuring out how to play against that style. And until they figured it out, they weren't going to be comfortable. I'm not going to say they were going to struggle, because they were winning the first game, but I'm saying they're just not comfortable until they figure out how to deal with that style. Because no matter what happened in the game 1, Indiana still shot great and they still got whatever they wanted. So the Knicks hadn't figured out how to make them uncomfortable until game 3. And this is important. So hopefully they can build off of that, because I don't care how good you are. It's very tough to keep playing a team and just, letting them do whatever they want. And then you just trying to outscore them. Teams can do it. Knicks ain't really built that way. We got inconsistent scorers on our team. Brunson, every 6 games has a bad shooting game. Cat sometimes has a bad shooting game, but he's a little bit more consistent with his efficiency. He just sometimes doesn't be as aggressive. And then let's not even talk about Macau. Macau shows up when he wants to show up. And, sometimes OG's been very consistent down the stretch, but he's had a couple duds in these playoffs too. So they can't afford to try to score with a team and not learn how to stop them. So, yeah. Shout out to Miguel P in the building. Salute to you, and thank you for being a member of the SKF Army. So salute to Ron in the chat. Crimsdad says Neesmith's ankle hurt today, so pretty sure he won't shoot well or defend as well tomorrow. There's a high possibility that's correct. We'll see. Especially the way he shoots too. I mean, he gets a lot of lift. He gets in the air for his jump shots. He's a real jump shooter. Corey Lindsay says, Ron, salute, and big game 4 coming up. Yep. Walter Blackman in the building said, good evening, Ron and the Knicks family. Salute to you, Walter. Hope you're doing well, my guy. All right. Jay says he's agreeing with David tonight, plus the defense. Ron said, hey, all right, I like it. Hey, shout out to Marcel Montgomery in the building. He said, Ron, what's good, bro? What's good, Marcel? Hope you're doing well. David said, wait, hold on. Miguel said, Thibs changes highlight how his approach to rotation construction and rotation management from game to game have been flawed for a long time. The Knicks have always played harder than necessary. I can't argue with that. There's truth there. Unfortunately, Thibs is a very stubborn coach, and he's very set in his ways. And whatever he does that's working, and we can't look. I just want to say this because I understand. Like, as a fellow Knicks fan, I get it. I understand how we can be better at times, right? But I also understand that when things work, it's hard to deviate from it. It's hard to change something that's working. And as much as you want to say we didn't look that great in game 2 and we won game 3 and we gave away game 1, but we were winning game 1 and we beat Detroit and we beat Boston the way that Thibs was running things. So it's hard to say that he should do something when what he did worked. It may not look pretty all the time, but it worked. And I also want to, I hope people can stop saying this, but everybody keeps saying the same damn thing because they don't care. They don't pay attention. And I'm not saying you guys as fellow Knicks fans. I'm talking about commentators and other fans. They keep saying that the Knicks have been terrible in these playoffs. But what they're not realizing is that the Knicks have played in the style of the competition that they played in order to get victories. Right? Detroit was, tough, and they made the game sloppy. The Knicks had no choice but to play in that style because Detroit made it so difficult for them to score. No baskets were easy. Nothing was uncontested. So that's one. 2, Boston, the Knicks changed their style of basketball to try to win the game because they felt like Boston was going to be in moments where they would shoot themselves out of the game. And the Knicks felt like scoring points consistently was the way to win. And can we argue with it? They did beat Boston, right? We did hear that, was it after game 4 or after game 5, that Karl Anthony Towns came out and said that the Knicks' plan was to not take so many threes. That's the reason why he wasn't shooting a lot of threes. That was a plan. So, I mean, listen, you talk about that the Knicks weren't playing a certain way. It's because they chose not to. They felt like they could win better if they stopped shooting as many threes. But we know shooting threes has been a part of the Knicks game all season. We don't shoot them like Boston, but we've been shooting them. So, yeah, stuff like that, man. I just think that the Knicks are a weird team because they're always the underdog and they're always counted out and they're never given credit for anything they do. But some of the stuff has to be looked at like it's on purpose because it makes sense. That's how you beat a team that plays you a certain way. You have to conform and do what's best to get the victories. Now, that being said, we're with Indiana, and Indiana is a totally different animal. Indiana doesn't play the defense that these other teams do, so the Knicks get their shots, right? But the other thing is they are getting everything they want, and finally the Knicks figured out a way to slow that down. So hopefully they can continue to do that. I mean, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. David Smith says, I can't help but think with 5 minutes left, Knicks up 17, Brunson comes back with 5 fouls and lead evaporated. If Deuce was left in game instead of bringing back Brunson, then the Knicks win easy. We can't say that. I can't say that because like I said, I told you, I get very concerned in close games versus Indiana. Indiana doesn't give up. The Knicks don't give up, but Indiana is very clutch in close game situations. So we don't know what would have happened. But I will say this is the bottom line. Jalen Brunson is the most clutch player in the NBA for a reason. He won the award because he's proven it game in, game out in the fourth quarters. Now, that being said, his decision-making has been pretty poor in some of these playoff games, especially versus Indiana. But in some of these playoff games, his decision-making has been kind of poor. I think Indiana maybe knows a little bit more about Brunson, and they figured out how to make him very uncomfortable the way they play him. Even though he's able to get his points and score, but they make him work, right? And they make it very like, I think they also realize that they're okay with Brunson scoring as long as he's not getting other people involved. And when he tries to, that's when they try to make him more uncomfortable. That's why when they try to make him make decisions, and he hasn't been making great decisions. So did I have a problem with Thibs benching Brunson? No. Did I I don't I'm not one of those people that has an issue with the coach saying this is what makes more sense for the team and it's working. I told you guys this before. I don't care what Thibs does as long as it works. The only time I have an issue with what Thibs does is when it's not working and he's still doing it and continues to do it and it's not working. That I don't understand. If something's not working, you got to change it up. That's all I say. If it works, fine. If it don't work, switch it up. Brunson really didn't need to be out there. These guys were playing good defense, and they were making it difficult for Indiana, which is all we really need. We just have to learn how to stop Indiana, and we're a better team when it comes to fourth quarter basketball. I'm not saying that Indiana's not good. Like I told you, I'm scared of Indiana in the fourth quarter when it's close, but I think we're a better fourth quarter team. I'm not talking about the rest of the quarters. The Knicks have been fantastic in the fourth quarters of games for quite some time. So, except, for whatever reason, this series we were making some dumb decisions. And Brunson had a lot to do with that, especially in game one and even other games. Brunson just has not looked right in this Indiana series. And even in the Boston series when he fouled out, Jalen Brunson has only fouled out 4 times in his entire career, people. And he had never fouled out in the playoffs before. That Boston series was the first time he ever fouled out in a playoff series. And all of a sudden, he goes from fouling out in that game, getting 5 fouls in another game, and getting 5 fouls in last night's game. I'm a little concerned as to what's going on. And I also don't like that when he gets into foul trouble, it seems like it's even easier for him to pick up more fouls. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Right now, I just feel like he's a little lost. Even good players can have a moment where they are still good, but they don't look as good as they used to. I mean, Brunson scored 43 in the first game, 36 in the second, and 23 in the third. But those first 2 games, even though he scored a lot of points, he still didn't look. He just doesn't look as comfortable as we're used to seeing him. Very poised and in control. Assist to turnover ratio. People complaining like Brunson is not a great facilitator. He's a good facilitator, but one of the reasons why the Knicks wanted Brunson was his assist to turnover ratio was one of the tops in the NBA with Dallas. When he came to the Knicks the first season, his assist to turnover ratio was one of the best in the NBA. So it's not like he just is so careless with the basketball, but the teams are figuring out how to make him uncomfortable and put him in situations where he has to make bad decisions. He should be making better decisions. That also has to do with Thibs. It's him and Thibs, because if they were more comfortable with Brunson giving the ball up, he wouldn't make as many turnovers. He'd be more comfortable. Okay, they're coming to blitz me. I got to get the ball out of my hands. That's fine. No, but he's always trying to hold on to the ball because he's one of the best ball handlers on the team, and everybody wants the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter. We got to get away from that. I think Brunson is learning too. I think everything that's been happening, he's starting to realize, hey, I got to be better. I got to play better. I got to believe in my teammates. And the teammates have to also believe in each other too. It's not just Brunson, but he has a lot to do with it. So I'm giving him a lot of heat because he has to be better at getting his guys involved and being willing to allow the ball to get out of his hands, even if it's in crunch time, because, if anything, somebody else can make a decision or he can get the ball back. He just got to believe that it's going to work out. And I think we'll be fine. But it's just like, it looks like he's struggling with that right now. Who am I to talk, man? I mean, these are NBA players. I'm not in the situation, but, we see what we see. Walter Blackman says, I hope Thibs plays his bench more. Yeah, I agree. Marcel says, out here state to state in this truck. Hey, man, you out there on the road, you got to do what you got to do, man. Just be safe out there. G Money in the building. Gideon Amonqua says amazing win. Salute and happy Memorial Day. David Smith says, hang it up, Thibs. You passed your prime. You lost your fastball. You're senile, the dinosaur, outdated coach. Knicks need a young, smart, modern NBA coach that is hungry with no agendas and actually wants to win. I'm going to say that may be true, but they actually wants to win. I think Thibs wants to win more than anybody. That's why he dedicates his life to to coaching basketball. I just think that, you may not have all the answers sometimes. Sometimes things work, but it doesn't work against everybody and doesn't work all the time. And, we'll see. But as I said before, guys, I'm with Thibs unless Thibs stuff doesn't work. Just like I'm not going to say get rid of Thibs because we don't know what's going to happen. We talking right now, the Knicks are down 2-1 in this series. If the Knicks win this series 6-2 or 7-3, what am I talking about? 6-2. You know what I mean? 4-2 or 4-3. Everybody's going to be looking at the Knicks going to the championship, to the finals, to the NBA finals. You still expect the Knicks to move on from a coach that is taking them to each level? It's not going to happen. But I do say let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let's hope Thibs continues to build off of the good stuff that we saw in Game 3. I don't know yet. We'll see. Why Basketball in the building said Knicks won despite some bad decisions by things. As we get further, it gets harder. You must play good players on the bench. That's fair. Joey Rip 'em Up Sports in the building says happy Memorial Day. That's good, bro. Happy Memorial Day to you, and thank you for being a member of the SKF Army. Rasul says that's coaching. He's got to go. Maybe. Listen, we'll see. Juan Rivera says that's the definition of insanity. Yes, continuing to do something thinking that the outcome is going to be different. That is true. Crim's dad said Brunson will never be traded, but Cat, do I hear Giannis? Is that the sound of music to my dude? Cat's not going anywhere, especially if he keeps having games like he did when he's scoring 20 points in the fourth quarter. So not only did Cat help save our season so far, he helped save his worth and his value too by showing that, hey, I'm still that guy. Miguel P says, unfortunately, getting rid of Thibs will likely force a roster shuffle that regresses the franchise significantly. At this point, I think we have to ride with this man until the wheels fall off. Or at least till there's no choice. At least till we see that, it's time to make a move. Joey Rip 'em Up Sports says, shout out to Ryan Shamit. JJ says, Brunson picked up silly foul syndrome from Cat. I don't know where he got it from, but he definitely got it. And that's why I say, and that's the other thing. I'm getting a little annoyed, but I understand everybody's you guys, as Knicks fans, we all are emotional creatures, right? And some Knicks fans are feeling things that they never felt before. And once you start feeling that, now you start thinking differently. You're so close, you can taste it. Yet, certain things are happening, and then all of a sudden you're jumping out the window. This ain't Know the Ledge, so I can't play the clip. But some people are jumping out the window, talking about, oh, now we need to trade Josh Hart. Automatically, Brunson might be, not the guy for us here. Cat's got to go. Like all of a sudden, everybody's got to go. OG's getting paid this amount of money. What is it? Like, whoa. Wasn't we just praising OG in the first series and then in the second series for his defense and what he's been doing? Worth every penny. Now all of a sudden he's got to go because we're in a new series. Come on. Didn't Macau come up huge in the Boston series, play his best defense of the season against the Boston best players, get big time moves, snatch the ball away from, Jaylen Brown on different occasions and help seal victories with his shooting? Worth every penny. Who's talking about them picks? Now all of a sudden we in Indiana. Man, once again, we gave up 5 picks for this dude. What are we doing? What happened? What happened? We can't go from series to series and get rid of guys. Like, how did we get here? Some things just don't make sense, but we gotta understand. Like, everybody's talking, like, even when it comes to Brunson, did you guys forget that Brunson was carrying this team last year when no one was here? When we didn't have Julius, when we didn't have no Cat, we didn't have no Mikal Bridges, and he was averaging 30 points in the playoffs then, and he was cooking Philadelphia. He started cooking Indiana too, except we didn't have enough to stop Indiana that series because we were hurt. But I mean, like, let's just not forget who the guys on our team are. People, we talk about it like we can just get rid of these guys and bring in these other guys, and it's going to be so much better. There's no clear-cut answer to that, okay? Because I guarantee you, every guy that you think is better and could help this Knicks team is in Cancun watching the playoffs right now. Am I wrong? You know I'm not wrong, because I know you ain't going to say they need Anthony Edwards or somebody like that, because you know you're not getting him. They're not going nowhere. Everybody we be talking about is somebody that's watching the playoffs. They ain't in the playoffs, so how do we know they're going to be the answer? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, let's not give up on our guys, man. Like, Josh Hart, that rebound that Josh got yesterday was pivotal. It's just one rebound, but it was huge. He soared over everybody and got the rebound, tweaked his knee a little bit, but it was big and important, because that is what Knicks fans start to forget when you're so used to it. You guys forgot what it looks like to have that type of player on the team. Do you remember how the Knicks played prior to getting Hart and DiVincenzo and Brunson? Do you remember how many bad turnovers and bad games we used to have in the fourth quarter? Do you remember how many big plays we never got because there was nobody to get the big plays? Do you remember how many dumb decisions? We're making some bad decisions right now in this Indiana series, right? The Knicks used to make those bad decisions all the time before we got Josh Hart, Devo, and Brunson. Like, all the time. And then in the fourth quarter, how many 20-point leads did we squander in games? We just didn't have the right personnel. We didn't have high IQ guys, and we didn't have guys that would give their body for everything, that would go all out and get that rebound we need, or dive on the floor, or make that defensive stop, or get a steal and take it in transition and finish. Like, we were lacking that. The only person we had that was a good transition scorer at that time was Obi. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, guys. Like, just let's just not give up on our guys just because we're not happy with how the product looks on a given night. Let's not forget what we did to get here, and also not forget that these guys can turn it around. It's not over. They can turn it around, guys. They can. These next couple games, they could play the best basketball we've seen all playoffs, and then y'all be like, man, these guys, look how these guys stepped up, right? But after you wanted to trade them and get rid of them. So, all right, I'm done. Anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Please smash that like button for the show if you haven't already done so. Shout out to my guy Moneybag Jenkins what up, Moneybags? Boogs is in the building. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for hitting that like button, bro. Salute to you. HRM is in the building. What up? All right. Let me read a couple more things. Let me open up the phone lines just in case anybody wants to call in. Why not? Tay-Tay's in the building. Said, looks like Jalen is fighting the spirit of defeat. It's more mental than physical for him right now. Agreed. Because you obviously know he's not getting stopped. He's scoring. I mean, in the game 3, I think the foul trouble limited him. But, 43 in the first game, 36 in the second. He's getting his points. It's just that the game is just, it's not coming smoothly for him, and they are affecting him a little bit. And I do think it's mental. I think he just got to get out of his own head right now. You see him, he's not even smiling, bro. He's got that scowl face on all the time. In the press conference, they're asking him questions. He's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Jalen's pissed. He ain't happy. Anyway, oh boy, RD Barn is in the building. What up, RD? Said management probably told Thibs to expand the rotation. The seat has started to warm up. I mean, who knows? Maybe, but I think he had no choice but to do something. Corey says, Ron, do you smell a 2-2 series tomorrow? I do. I think it's another. Well, obviously, we know it's another must-win game for the Knicks, but I feel confident that the Knicks can win tomorrow as well. Dripmore is in the building, the preferred barber of still Knicks fans and the Knicks community. Let's go. He said, yo, what's good, Ron? Saw update Naismith game time decision for tomorrow's game. Yep. Well, I assume he's going to play, but it doesn't mean he's going to be as effective as he was before, though. Apollo is in the building. What up, Apollo? Haven't seen you in a minute. He said, I don't know, Ron. Cat might be trade bait. He just doesn't fit New York, and his defense is atrocious. He's good every 2 games. I promise you, if we lose, he might be gone. Him and JB not really good together. I will say that the Knicks just need to figure out how they're going to use these 2 guys going forward. And next year, if they're able to add other pieces to help the defense so that it helps disguise Brunson's and Cat's defense a little better, right? Because even though we talk about how good, OG can be and how good McCall can be, it's not enough, right? And Josh Hart is a really good defender, but he's not a great defender. He doesn't compare to those 2 guys. If he was even better as a defender, then maybe it would be easier for us to get by. But we need a little bit more defense, and it probably needs to come from both sides. Maybe one guard type. Not a guard type, but like a small forward type defender, and another big, who can play solid defense and get some rebounds. He doesn't have to score a lot, but the Knicks need a little bit more size that can play defense. I know some people might say Huck Porty. I don't know. Maybe Huck Porty will be the answer, but I just know that that's what they're going to need because they need something. Because Precious apparently is not the answer, or he'd be playing, right? Even if you get a guy like Precious, that's Precious's height, he needs to be super athletic because he got to be able to jump and sky and grab rebounds over the centers. So, and be able to play that defense on the centers too. So that's why I think that it just may be that the Knicks need to just retool a little bit. I don't know, bro. I don't know if this is the case. Rasul says he feels like Brunson don't like Towns. He never wants to pass him the ball. I think the problem is Karl-Anthony Towns, as gifted as he is, I think he does his own thing. Does that make sense? Like when he gets the ball, he just does his thing, right? I feel like Brunson and Thibs has to run a system, right? And Brunson is running the system. And so if he automatically passes the Towns, it goes away from the system. Because I say that because it's not just Brunson who don't pass the ball to Towns a lot. A lot of guys, like they play a certain way, right? I don't know what it's about. I don't know Thibs' system, so I can't really explain it. But if you look at them, it's not just Brunson who doesn't give Towns the ball. And I don't think these guys all have issues with Towns. I mean, maybe OG does a little bit now, but seriously, that's no big deal. But I think it's Thibs' system. And so if you say that the Thibs offensive system is not the best, then there would be a better way to open up Towns and Brunson and the rest of the guys on the court, I would say you're right. I agree. Thibs is a defensive coach who understands how to coach all around, but I don't think he has all the answers offensively. I think there's obviously coaches who can better utilize their players and their weapons than Thibs. So, yeah, I think that's my opinion. From what I see, because I try to look at it to see, because when guys say something, I don't just dismiss it and say, nah, you full of crap. There's no way. No, I got to look at it myself. I'm like, are they right? I don't know. Let me see. So I get it. But I look at it to see, is it just Brunson or is it other guys too? And I just noticed that the way the system gets run seems like it's not just Brunson. But I don't know what it's about. I don't know. I just think that's how it's run. Shout out to Tori B in the building. What up, Tori? Yeah, let's go. Says Ron. Yeah, I think Kat's gonna make a lot of money next year, around 60 something. Yeah. She says, "What's up, good people?" Manny says, Ron, if the Knicks make the finals, this whole chat, myself included, is jumping the I hear you. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. All right, let me open up these phone lines. I said I was going to do it. I'm still chilling here. All right. All right, it's about that time, y'all. If you want to call in, by all means, you are welcome to. Call-in number is 347-305-7280. Once again, it's 347-305-7280. You're welcome to call in if you'd like. We will be here chopping it up for a little while longer. No problem. Hey. 05-7280. You're welcome to call in if you'd like. Caller, you are on live with SKF Weekly. Your name and where you're calling from.
What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, what up, Jay?
What's going on? Jay Chosen from New York City.
What's happening, my brother?
Oh my God, I'm emotionally drained. I'm shot. I'm not joking. Like I'm like dragging myself all day. And I realized like, what's wrong with me? I kept thinking, what's going on? I'm super hyped for the win, of course, right? Super hyped for the win. And my baseball team also took care of business this weekend. So, I was super hyped for the win. But how many times are we going to get away with? There's 3 times now we're going to get away with 20-point deficits. It's tough. It's really tough. And to watch, and then to go through, and then as still being a Knicks fan, you watch it, and you see it, you can see it. It's that's why I think everybody we could say as much as we want. We could talk about Thibs, we could talk about whatever we see, but being a couch manager or a couch coach is a lot easier than actually doing the job that they're doing, right? So
yeah,
I'm over here watching it and I'm listening to what you guys are saying, what you're saying, and what Chad's saying, and for me, it's tough to. And I've been very, very, very easy on Thibs this year. I wouldn't say pro Thibs, but I definitely wouldn't say I'm like he's got to go. I don't think I've ever said that. But to give Thibs full credit that small lineup came in out of like this really wonderful thought process that he came up with prior to the game. Instead of our backs against the wall, we're down 0-2. We're going to mix it up. Starts out. I will give him props by starting out by mixing it up, by putting Hart on the bench and putting Mitch in the starting lineup. I think that was, as much as I'm not a super duper fan of the double big, it is a good start. I would like to see a starter in the first quarter, a few minutes, third quarter, and when needed. But you saw how important, no matter how many 2 points from this guy, 4 points from this guy, but the defense changed. Delon Wright is a big difference comparably to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we're gonna I can't fully stand up and give a standing ovation to Thibs for that. I could give it to the fact that we were 0-2 and we were down 20 again. And at this point, it was do or die. It was do or die.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you just do about anything to scratch out a victory. But I don't care if we win 124 to 123.5. You win is a win. My biggest concern is he saw what worked. Will he continue to do that? Do you think that part of the reason that they're not running with these guys? I mean, it's obvious the answer to this, but I believe is that we have basically 5 guys who run 38 minutes. We've got a couple guys who run some other minutes. You know what I mean? Off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
They're much deeper than us. So did they outplay us? That first game, we outplayed them until the last 3 minutes. We had our foot in you know what for the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And the second game, we lost by 2 threes. So are we were they tired? Did they play like Josh said, not to lose rather than to win? Or are we not using enough people? Or is it all of it?
I think I want to say, I don't want to say that we were tired, bro. I know some people want to say that that's the given thing, like the way these players are playing and the style of play that the Pacers play, that they were tired. Like I told you, like I said, and I'm not saying I told you, like I said before, I think the Knicks can hang with the Pacers in that style of play for like the first 2 to 3 games, like that, 4 games maybe. But when it gets deeper, 5, 6 games, that really is when it starts to wear on you. So I don't think they're tired as far as they can't. I think what happens is the style of pace is too quick. The Knicks are a half-court team. They play half-court style basketball. They score transition buckets, but they're not known for getting up and down the court. They don't really do that too often. They do here and there, but they're not known for that. So their half-court style of defense, you know, people talk about the whole thing that, and I wanted to throw this out there because I was in a group chat with some of my close friends yesterday. And let me tell you something. It was very tough to watch a Knick game with a group chat of all guys that none of them are Knick fans. So I was dying. I was struggling. And then
I would have hung up.
Yeah, well, I told him I was like,
or whatever.
I said, depending on how these next couple minutes go, I may have to mute this or leave here. So I told him that. But
right,
anyway,
exactly.
The point was, when all of this was happening, you know, you can see that the style of pace forces the Knicks to make their decisions a lot quicker. And so what I was bringing up in the group chat is that a couple of my friends were also saying, like, you know, man, you know, and this is something that people have been saying, you know, it's not new. Even what's his face, Jeff Teague, the former point guard, said it too, that Brunson holds on to the ball for too long in the shot clock, and so the Knicks don't really have a lot of time to orchestrate an offense. Like once he holds the ball for so long, you know, it's almost like they're one and done. Either he scores or he has to pass the ball to someone else, and they don't have a lot of time to really, you know, get a good quality shot up. They just have to shoot it. So, and I understood what he was saying, and it's true. That's a habit forming thing that Brunson has developed. But the other thing with it too is that Brunson does it because he's a stabilizer, right? He does it because he slows things down so that the Knicks can make a better decision as to what they want to do offensively. Because remember, we've all said it, the Knicks don't run a great intricate offense. So slowing it down allows them to come up with some type of set that might work or figure out some play that they want to run. So it's a bad thing, but I think they do it on purpose. But I think Brunson has kind of just gotten so used to doing it, and now he's holding the ball too long, right? But it's also they're doing it on purpose because that's how they run their sets. They slow things. They're a slow team.
Right. They're not a running gun team such as the OKC or a bunch of teams. I can name even this team. Sometimes the Pacers were running for a while, but they're not that big of a run. I think Boston plays it well. They could do both. You know, I think they they change up on it. But yeah, I understand what you're saying 100%. And it goes back to my old favorite thing: two things that will be right at the same time. I think I think you're right. I think that sometimes I think when he holds it too long, for the detriment part of it is coming from that last year's, you know, remembrance of, here, take the ball, you take the ball, you take the ball. Maybe it's not that he doesn't like Cat. Maybe it's the fact that he's used to everybody saying, you take the ball, hurry up, you take the ball, because he was clutch and he was making everything happen. Now, I also agree that maybe it is written, Nas. And it was written that he should do that and then set up or what it might be. I just know that. So why I asked you that is I don't really think that they're tired as a team. I think we're at the stretch. I think where we are right now, they should have that win, the second win or whatever win that you get for the playoffs. They should be at the peak of their game right now. It has nothing to do with the fact that they played all these minutes. They even said it themselves. They laugh about it. They talk about it. Brunson is definitely pissed, especially when you ask him questions like that. But we have all these other players. I know we have one of the worst benches in the league, but that worst bench seemed to create a change last night that we haven't seen in a while. So we take game one. Game one, we forget all about how we did what we did in Boston, and I think that is a major problem. I love the fact we played Detroit first, got us tough. Played Boston second, made us excited. No, now we could beat us, because this team was made to beat what? Boston. Wasn't made to beat anything else. We're supposed to see Boston in this round, not Indiana. So we did that. We beat them fine. They're done. Now we go into this, and we got to switch up who we're playing against. We're not playing those past two teams. And it's a little deflating to get to be winning a game very handily the first game and to lose that game. And I don't know if they brought that kind of the way I feel today, dragging myself all emotionally shot out and whatever, into the game prior and this game, and last night's game. I really hope that Thibs doesn't coach. What's the word I used with you the other day? I'd want to see him coaching out of fear. And I think that I saw him coaching out of fear. And I don't know if you could agree with that. I don't know if you feel that way or not. But coaching out of need, some might say. But he should continue to do this, give spells, mix it up a little bit, do different things. And I think we do see that once in a while. People don't give enough credit for certain parts of it. But that, and I'm going to just get this off my chest. The refs have been horrendous towards us.
They have been.
And I know that Tory, the Queen of the South, said that he's been pretty fair. But I think that and that's cool. I think that hearing Reggie during this thing is destroying my mind. I can't.
I know, but that's because we know so much about who he is and what he's done. But I will say that he's been decent. He's been decent. I don't love it. I mean, I can't stand it, but he's been decent. It's so much worse. And even other guys that I still can't stand Doris Burke, but even Richard Jefferson has been a little better, I guess with time and with the fact that the Knicks are undeniably better than what people thought they were before, they have to start talking better about them, because it's not the same old Knicks. So eventually they start to come around, and it is what it is. But I hear you. I'm not a big fan, because I know deep down Reggie hates the Knicks, and Reggie's happy when Indiana wins, but he's trying his best to be as objective as possible. I will say he's much better this year, or at least these playoffs, I'll probably say this year than he was in the past. He was worse in the past, so he's gotten better. He's gotten better.
He was better. I'll say this: he was better than even last year's thing. Last year,
last year he was terrible.
It was blatant. It was blatant.
And so was Richard.
So
Jefferson.
okay, he got a little bit better. I still hate his face, and I can't take Richard Jefferson or his face. And you know what? Doris Burke is one of my least favorites. So we're hitting the same nail. I get it. I'm with you on that 100%.
And
we'll talk about that on the side.
I don't think I even answered your question in full. Like, so the other part of your question was, do I think Thibs is going to do what he did again? Yeah, I do think he's going to run it back, because I think Thibs is, like I said with Thibs, he's a creature of habit. When it works, and he'll try it until it don't work. So I do think he's going to come out again with the big lineup. I think the big lineup wasn't that effective, but it does do something, right? It starts the Knicks off. They can get it puts the Knicks in a position to start the game off playing well, right? Because they got the two bigs out there that can gobble up the rebounds. And even if the shooting's not well, you might have chances to get other opportunities. So you can stay in the game early. So that's why I like it. Plus, I like the fact that if they switch up and they go with the small lineup later in the game, you've already gave the team the contrast. They saw that big lineup. Now they got to see a difference with the small lineup. So rather than just trying to play like a small lineup a lot more in the game and not give them the big lineup so they can just adjust to one thing, you want them to have to adjust to multiple things. That's what throws them off their course and makes them uncomfortable. So I like that part, and I think he's going to continue to do it. And the other thing too, as much as I said that the team wasn't tired, and that's not like why this was necessary, I do feel like having fresh bodies come off the court and be hungry and want to run around and play defense on these guys is beneficial. I think that's helpful.
Absolutely. Eyeballs on them, the whole world watching. Here's my shot. I could play defense. I've been waiting for this. A couple of them probably saying, finally, mother sucker, like, all right, I'm ready. Here I am. And then, yes, it does give our stars or superstar, whatever, fresh legs. And I think that's just needed in general for human beings, period. Whether it's athletes or it's whoever it might be. And last but not least, look, Cat was fantastic Cat was amazing down the stretch. When he went up, I think we went up 86-85 on that dunk, that down the lane poster yam, right? And he stared down their entire whatever side of the right side of the Indiana, whatever stadium.
Right.
That was so prolific and so awesome. But can somebody please tell Cat to stop taking logo 3-pointers like from the half? Like, move in a little bit. Just take like 3 steps in.
I don't know, bro. I used to feel that way too, but I think that's his style, and I think that helps him. You know what I think? I think Cat is I think his shot is very. It don't matter where Cat shoots from, because he can shoot a free throw and it can be velvety with his touch. But I think he likes shooting from distance. Because you see, it's not like he may miss here and there, but he has a good touch no matter where he's shooting from. I think shooting from distance sometimes helps him a little bit. If he moved in, because he doesn't really shoot a lot of threes very close to the line. He steps back a little bit. Maybe, that's for a reason. Maybe he feels comfortable from certain spots. That's where he practices. I don't know.
Maybe. Could be his height too. I mean, you could be a lot of people, shorter people get closer to the line for a reason. It could be his height.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was 7 feet, I used to shoot further. So, but so it is what it is, man. So look, man.
I hear you, brother.
Brother, man, I appreciate picking up the call, man. I'll hit you on the side chat. I appreciate you as always. Blessings,
Hey, man, same here, brother. Good to speak to you as always.
As always, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, later.
Peace.
Oh man, so it's gonna be interesting, guys. Oh, we got another caller. Let's see who we got. Caller, you are on live SKF Weekly. Your name and where you're calling from.
Was good. Was good.
Oh, wait.
You hear me?
Oh, wait. I do hear you, but why can't I can't recognize the voice.
Is your boy Juan? Probably because I'm sick.
Oh,
right
it's Juan. Yeah, you sound a little different, bro. Oh, you sick?
Yeah, I'm a little congested right now.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right. How you doing, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel good, man. You know, lots of time Thibs used the bench. Only took 99 games for him to do it.
He definitely makes it difficult for us as fans. Like, he don't give us what we want, and he don't give the players what they want sometimes. But look, all I said is, and all I continue to say is, as long as whatever he's doing is working, as much as I may be upset about it, I can't be mad. If it's not working, then we got a problem. And it wasn't working those first two games.
It should have happened like a game earlier. Because I feel like maybe if he did this in game 2, it might be 2-1 right now. But you can't live in would-haves, could-haves, should-haves.
I know,
stuff like that.
And the flip side too. I think Sim said it last night on Nothing But Knicks. The Knicks were up 14 in that first game with 3 minutes left, and even if they gave the game away,
It's true.
If they gave the game away and messed up down the stretch, are you going to think that, man, I'm going to change stuff up for game 2? No, you're going to come out there and do the same thing you did in game 1 because you think it's going to work.
Like, we were up 14, right?
Yeah. So, I can't be 14, mad at
we just have to execute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be mad. But after game 2, I'm like, it's time to switch it up.
I'm glad he did because it definitely worked. We've been screaming for Shamit and DeLon, and look what they did last night. They showed up and they did what they were supposed to do. So
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Were you going crazy in that last couple minutes too?
I gotta be honest with you. When they were down 20, I turned the game off. And the only reason I turned it, I was like, man, this is going to be a sweep, man. But then I kept talking to my friend. He's like, yo, this not over. Knicks cut it down to 13. I was like, all right, baby. So right around the third quarter, because I kept, I've been sick for a few days. So let me take a nap, see where the Knicks is at. And I was like, wow, they pulling one of these Boston comebacks. I'm like, all right, and then I'll turn it on. And then Cat starts going off. I'm like, all right, I think Knicks going to win this. Just the way Cat was playing. And then he had that dunk on who was that fell down. He got the N1 dunk. I was like, this is how he needs to play every game. Remember Bad Boys? That's how you play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Some of these, that's how you play ball. You remember that scene in Bad Boys? He was like, that's how you drive.
Facts.
Can you hear me,
Facts. Bro? Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. That's I mean, that's what this is the thing. Like, I love it and I don't love it. Like, I don't want to keep seeing the Knicks go down 20 or before they get it going. Like, it's nice to know that they can come back, but like, could we do things a little easier?
Right, exactly. But for everyone too, I want to address this whole Cat thing because I don't see what everyone is seeing about Brunson and Cat. Because if you see him in the post games, I don't see that energy. In fact, they give each other props. So I don't know where people coming up with this story. They just want to, I don't know, just.
I think Juan, people, it's nobody's fault, man. But you gotta really understand that a regular person is going to see things one way. It's not the same when you're an athlete playing in an organized sport, when you're going to war and battling against all these teams day in and day out. It's just a different thing. You can get into an argument. Y'all could fight in the moment and then be cool like 10 seconds later. Like it may look bad.
That could happen with anybody. That could happen with your friend. I've yelled at people who I used to like hang out. We yell. We might even have a scuffle and we're friends the next day. Like that's.
Yeah, it's. I think they all still really care about each other, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. I just do think that in the spur of the moment, in times when things ain't going right, and there's a lot of pressure, and you're like, because guys don't get mad when stuff happens that they can't control. They get mad when it's something that they feel like they can't control and shouldn't be
Can't
happening.
control.
That's the thing.
Yeah, like
So,
those fouls.
Yeah, so those fouls and missing defensive assignments and guys not stepping up,
Right.
and then because it was
Well, I never was good enough to play in the team, but I was good enough at certain points to do pickups.
Mhm.
And I did notice, like, if you're not doing, certain things, it's not because they don't like you. It's just like you're not affecting the game. Or I'm gonna pass you the ball, or you missing shots. Or I'm gonna pass you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like I think sometimes because Brunson is the alpha. Like you said it many times. It's like he's the alpha dog. Like you gotta sometimes be like, yo, bro, look for me. Like pass me the ball.
yeah.
But sometimes people get in the zone too, and it's not like they're not trying to. But if they got that awful dog mentality, sometimes they're like, I gotta do this. They're like, you gotta remind them, like, yo, I'm here, bro.
Facts.
I'm open. You know what I mean?
100%. And the same thing I said about Thibs, I can refer to that with Brunson right now. If, like I said, if Thibs stuff, if whatever he's doing is working, I cannot be mad at. I may disagree with some of his decisions, but if they're working, I can't be mad. It's the same thing with Brunson. Brunson is the fourth quarter god. He's the big Mr. Clutch, and he does all these things. If it's working, I can't say nothing to it. But if he's making bad turnovers and making poor mistakes with the ball, then you can start to say, hey, Brunson, all right, give it up, do something different. That's what it is. When he's doing it right, there's nothing you can say, but he's got to understand that too. And that's for his teammates. And I'm sure they have talks. They understand what, they can say something to him. Like, yo, even Josh, like we talk, but Josh is a good guy to have on this team because Josh says stuff the way it is.
And McCall keeps calling him out.
Well, we notice that McCall is like that too, but Josh definitely is like that. It's good to have these type of guys that'll say exactly what's going on. Yo, you tripping. You messed up that game. Oh, remember that game? They do it in fun, but it's real.
Yeah.
So
another thing too is it feels like they just have to have their backs all the way against the wall for them to like perform. I don't know what it is about this team that like,
I think I think they have like a chip on their shoulder, but also I think when they start to get mad as a team, when they feel disrespected, the best of them comes out because they know that they're like, on that court, any given night when how people love to do this. I don't really like to do it, but I'm saying it now because the media loves to say that. They want to compare everybody. So on that court right now, when they play, the best person on that court, in my eyes, is Jalen Brunson, right? And the second best player is Karl Anthony Towns, in my opinion.
Right.
So we got the two best players on the court, in no matter who's out there. We should be winning. We should be beating them. That's how I look at it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do see why the pace has been tough because there's a couple players that didn't have last year that are doing good, and they're a better team than they were last year.
No, they got a good system, bro. They got a good system, and that's part of the reason why even Halliburton.
Carlisle's. My bad, I cut you off.
No. I was going to say even Halliburton. Let's not forget Halliburton played with Sacramento for what 2-3 years, and then they traded him to Indiana, and he was good, but he wasn't this good. He's good because of the system he's in as well. Like that system benefits him.
System could help a guy look better than he is sometimes too.
Very true.
I think he has a chip on his shoulder too because it's like overrated. I'm gonna show you. I overrate this. Like he's.
Yeah, he's the type of player. I mean, as much as I don't like him and I can't stand him and his antics and oh man, he gets me stressed. He's the type of player you like to have because
I was like, somebody clothesline that guy.
Yeah, you like to have that type of guy because he uses the hate, right? Hate on it. That's why I'm like, yo, don't give this guy no more material, bro. Don't leave him. Let him be.
Right. And I feel like Brunson and some of the Knicks players are like that too, where like the disrespect like fuels them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look at what's going on. All of a sudden, Halliburton's father's been reinstated, and now he can go to Indiana games. This dude was suspended because he went too far, and he could have put the NBA in a really bad situation because if they were saying it today, like if Giannis would have put his hands on him for whatever reason, that would have been terrible for the NBA. So the fact that now they're reinstating him all of a sudden in the middle of this series, like, come on, man. Whatever.
Giannis is not. He doesn't seem to strike me as that kind of guy. But
Yeah.
not he's saying he's soft, but like he just, Giannis is just smart. I think he's just smarter than that. Like
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have done anything. But we don't. Who's to say? I mean, if if Halliburton's father would have reacted differently.
Oh yeah, then if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna defend myself.
That's different. We don't know. Anything could have happened, but it is what it is, man. But hey, Juan, I thank you for the call, my brother. I'm feeling good.
I appreciate you taking my call.
No doubt. You think they're gonna tie the series tomorrow?
Sometimes I have these weird premonitions. I don't know if it's right. Sometimes I get this like it happened to me in East Super Bowl. I predicted who was gonna score first, and I was right. It's happened rarely, every once in a while. Somebody said they're gonna blow them out by 20, but I could just be talking because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a hope I'm right, so I think they're gonna tie it up.
All right, I like it. I'm
praying for a reverse sweep.
Reverse sweep sounds fantastic. I'll take it. Yeah. All right, Juan. I hope you're right, brother.
All right, man. All right.
Have a good night, bro.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
you. Man. We'll see. We'll see, guys. It's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be something. Let me see. Shout out to the chat. E. Gibson's in the building. What up, E? Hey, we got another caller. Shout out to you, my guy. This is SKF Weekly. You are on live. Your name and where you're calling from?
Shout out to you, my guy. This is SKF Weekly. You are on live. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Dan calling from Lafayette, California, originally from BK. You might have heard of me.
Dan, thank you for calling. I know this, this is probably your first time calling into the show. Could you turn down the volume in the back because I can hear that extra audio, if you don't mind?
I actually knew that was going to happen, but now I turned off.
It's okay. I hear you. That's all that matters.
There you go. Now I hear you.
There you go. Shout out to you, Dan. Thank you for calling. I mean, you sound like you're a knowledgeable fan. What do you want to talk about? No, I'm just joking. I know this is my boy. What up, B?
What up, dog? No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm chilling, man. I gotta say, I just got on. I was on doing some work, so I don't know if you broached this topic already. But I hear you talking about Brunson and Cat, and I heard some of the pundits discussing like the plus minus that the Knicks had while Brunson was on the court, and then because he was in foul trouble, like how much that freed up space for Cat to do his thing, which is why Cat was able to go off in the fourth quarter. That sounds all well and good, but and from my opinion, Brunson is it. Like there is no winning this with Brunson like on the bench or some miraculous thing happening because Brunson was in foul trouble. Like Cat had a good quarter, and yeah, he was wappy juice from three. But I think, and I heard you talking about something that must have happened that I didn't see. Like, were they talking beef to each other? Was there some sort of like
there
eye
was
contact that was?
Yeah, after game one, when the Indiana made that miraculous comeback with about 36 or 38 seconds left, Tom Thibodeau called a timeout, and when the guys went to sit down on the bench, Cat had said something to OG Anunoby. There was a defensive play that happened where Cat was in drop down coverage and OG reacted slow. He couldn't react fast enough, and that's when Neesmith hit one of the threes. And I guess Cat said something to OG, and OG did not like it. And so OG was going back at him, and then Brunson got in between them and told OG to calm down. But when he told OG to calm down, Cat said something else. So then Brunson was yelling at Cat like, "Yo, chill, be like, let it go." And then Cat said something else again, and so Brunson said one more thing, like, It was just that thing, like the heat of the moment. Could you imagine how? Look at us as fans. Could you imagine how upset you would be if you're on the court and you're up 14 and they're coming back and now you're up 3 and you got to call a timeout to stop the bleeding and you don't know what the hell to do? I would be so mad. So they were hype. They were hype. So that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, Cat, whether he misses, an assignment or doesn't push through the pick appropriately, this dude is wild with the fouls.
Yeah.
Like he for a guy who's that big and clearly has good athleticism and moves well for someone that big, like you would just want him to, keep your hands in check. It almost feels like he, out of all the dudes we're watching, he is the one that, because all of them are emotional, like Josh Hart. We love him because he's like, no pun intended, he's the heart of the squad. Like, he gets animated, but Cat seems like when his emotions get a little wonky, his mental game starts to deteriorate a little bit. And I think the same thing happens in reverse, like when he's focused and when he's on fire and when he kind of feels like it's on him to do it and nobody else is around. He seems like one of those guys that he needs that to be at his best. But when you're like that and stuff like that doesn't happen every game, it's almost like you're flipping a coin. Like, which dude are you going to get? You know what I'm saying? Like, Brunson is the ultimate even keel. Like, what you're getting every single game. Like, there's a reason he won Clutch Player of the Year, etc. But yeah, Cat sometimes can be frustrating because you're just watching him and you're like, my guy, like, just chill, work the offense, do your thing, and like good stuff's gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, you're right. No, I mean, he definitely he just frustrates people and fans because of the fact that we know how good and how talented he is.
Yeah.
And sometimes he puts himself in a bad position. Like, his biggest issue, there's certain things that he does out there in the court where he gets too one-sided, right? Everybody was saying, I mean, if you guys noticed the switch, I mean, you could see in this game, in game 3, he decided to go to the basket to start challenging Indiana instead of settling for jump shots. Not that it wasn't working. It's just, it's not working. It's not benefiting the Knicks the way in which it needs to. We need to put pressure on Indiana, and we weren't doing that. We're settling for jump shots. And with a guy who's as big and forceful as Cat, who can do everything on the court offensively, you got to take advantage. And so he wasn't. And then the other thing, obviously, we all know this. Everybody knows this. He just cannot stop picking up bad fouls. He gets into foul trouble all the time. And I never forget, I've said it multiple times on this show, I'll never forget last year's playoff when Anthony Edwards said, listen, all Cat needs to do is stay out of foul trouble. He said it right to Cat while they were in the press conference. Like, all you got to do is stay out of foul trouble. Like that. Like, that's it. So, yeah. It's one of them things, man. It's one of them things. So, I mean, I know you were watching the game. Were you happy with the fact that Thibs finally decided to switch things up with the lineups?
I mean, the problem with that is when I look at it, I got to see it from he had no choice.
Right. I know. That's the truth.
So I'm like, is he really, do I think this is like what he's going to ride the wave, like going forward in the other games? Nah, dog. He is going back to doing what he does now. I will say this, the fact that those dudes came in and contributed and were ready to contribute, I think says something about how, even though he doesn't play those dudes, he keeps them prepared. And yeah, they're professionals and they're veterans, so they probably do that on their own. But there's something to be said about, as a team, he called on them and they could have easily just been rusty or just been like out of sync with what's going on. And they had little contributions here and there that made a marginal difference, but every difference mattered yesterday with the pressure that was on them and with the score as it was.
100%. I think that you're absolutely right.
What I was going to ask you though is, and you might have seen this when they were talking about it on the broadcast. And I was like, man, that's a great point. Why can Mitchell Robinson guard guards on the perimeter, but Miles Turner, when he catches it out there, is killing him? That seems odd based on, like, if you're that big and athletic and you can, continue to move your feet when the guards are trying to get to the hole, but then you got this lumbering behemoth who takes one step and all of a sudden you're like, what happened? Like, that's weird, no?
I think that, I think what happens with that is, I think he just is not prepared for Miles Turner, because that's not Miles Turner's game. He doesn't really go into the paint and do a lot of work there at all. And I think he's caught Mitchell Robinson off guard a couple times. Even like yesterday, there was a point where he was a little past the foul court line and he drove past Mitchell Robinson to the basket. But he got a step. Mitchell wasn't expecting him to do that because he's so used to him always jump shooting. And I do agree that when it comes to battling down low, Miles Turner's not he's not a small dude. He's a big guy, and they work out. They've worked out together in the offseason. I don't know about this offseason, but previous offseason, they all did. Him, Julius Randle did, and Jericho Sims did. So they know each other's games. They work out together. He sees him working out, and they were lifting and stuff. So they're strong, and I think he just creates a little bit of a problem with them. But I don't think if Miles Turner makes a concerted effort to go down low and really bang bodies with Mitchell Robinson, I think you're going to see Mitchell Robinson start to get him. It's just that I think he just was caught off guard and wasn't expecting him to make those particular moves at those times. And quite frankly, Miles Turner is he's like a big 3-point shooter. He's not really a scoring option for them anymore. Now with the addition of Siakam there, it's Halliburton, Siakam, Nesmith might fill in a little bit, but it's just committee, move the ball around, whoever gets the open shot, shoot it. And I think Miles Turner has fell into that. And so I guess that's why he can really lull somebody to sleep and take advantage. So my opinion.
I can see that.
Yeah, man. But listen, bro, I'm glad you called. It's dope, to chop it up with you as we do in real life. But it's dope to have you on the show, calling in, and I hope to have you if you're free, because I know you're always busy and it's a time difference. But hope to have you in the future as well, man. And I hope these Knicks continue to do some stuff so we can continue to talk about it.
Absolutely, brother. I look forward to it, and I'm gonna be watching the game, and as soon as I see you go live, I'm gonna call back and we can discuss, in a professional manner, not the way we discuss via text.
Right. All right, bro, man. Take it easy.
All right, bro.
All right, later.
Peace.
All right. Calls have been great tonight. Very dope. It's great to continue to have something to talk about with these Knicks, man. I'm so glad that they're making a deep playoff run, man. I hope it continues and it keeps getting further along, man, because this is fun. This is fun for me. I would talk about all the time with John, man. Haven't couldn't even imagine that the Knicks were going to be this good at one point. When we started doing this, they stunk. So I'm very happy that they're good now. So shout out to you guys. If anybody wants to call in, ooh-wee. Caller, you are on live with SKF Weekly. Your name and where you're calling from?
You don't care where I'm calling from, man. Don't be trying to act professional.
Oh, Wiz. How are you?
This is Wiz VKLA from Angeles, California. It's a very chilly 68 degrees at 7:30 p.m. You know how we do out here. How you doing,
man? What's on your mind, bro? How you feeling, man?
I'm a little bit on the point, some of what we do, but yet you represented, like I said Saturday, that Deuce will be coming through for us, and the Knickerbockers will be winning the game on their way to winning in 6. And I stand by that prediction. Sorry.
I like it. Listen, I mean, 6 is tough, man. Winning 4 games in a row ain't easy, but you know, if they do it, I'm happy. I'll take it. I'm happy that Deuce stepped up, though. I tell you, I'm happy that Deuce stepped up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also, man, just like everybody has been saying, so my boy last call there talked about that Thibs was kind of forced.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did skip Cam and he did skip Precious and went a little down the line, a little bit grab, you know, my boy Wright and Cam, I'm still a little bit out, you know, not quite committed to him yet, but it worked out. And so, but D Wright needed some play, and I really hope that tomorrow he'll continue going 9. Maybe he'll shock us all and go 10 deep. And, you know, either use Cam or Precious in the right position, or even have 40. I would love to see one of those things show up because the possibility of, you know, throwing some chaos into the game plan of Rick Carlisle can create just enough havoc for them to go, what is going on? Enough to kind of like make a move again like we did yesterday. So I am happy, my man. I am happy.
I'm glad, bro. I'm glad, and I just hope the Knicks can keep it up. I hope Thibs continues to be flexible, no matter whatever he tries to do. I just want him. I want him to continue to understand. Hey, this worked. Okay, so keep that in your mind when whatever you're doing out there. Use what works. You can't go to it all the time. You got to sprinkle it in though, because I'm not sure it's going to work the whole game. You know, and you got to switch things up.
Absolutely. So tomorrow's game prediction again, victory. I won't give the points difference because it's been too unpredictable. But I do believe next victory. And tomorrow I do see OG and Mikal bring another extra, 5 or 10 points to the game. And then I do really believe that Thibs will kind of like keep this pattern of going 9 deep at least. And then hopefully, like I said, 6, maybe Knicks in 6. And I'm going to be talking to you Saturday morning as we celebrate Knicks in 6 because we'll have Tuesday victory, Thursday victory, and get ready to party Saturday night, baby. Let's go party.
All right. I like it. Hey, listen, from your lips to the basketball god's ears, bro. I like it. I'll take it. Let's go.
Great show, man. I got to go back into the first half because I was, having my little frappuccino and chilling out, in my LA sun, right? So I will put it away and play back the first part of the show to see what kind of nonsense he said.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you. Keep fasting, baby. This is time to that fasting again. And next time I call Saturday, I'm going to be singing a song, baby. I'm going to be singing. Yeah, baby. Look forward to that.
Anyway, thank you for the call, Wiz, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Take it easy.
You too.
What a night. What a night. Good to hear from everybody. Shout out to I lost it. Where'd it go? Shout out to Craig, says Randall has 5 points going into the 4th. But hey, the good thing for them is at least they're close. It's 92-89, right? With 10 minutes and 45 seconds left. Shout out to Minnesota, man. Minnesota's playing and they are keeping it close, which gives them a chance to win the game because you cannot let OKC get busy on you and put their foot on the gas. When they put their foot on the gas, it's over. So they've been keeping them away from that gas pedal. So shout out to them. Oh, another thing I wanted to talk about real quick with regards to the Knicks in that game, in game 3. Guys, I know you see it. It was one of the things on the graphic that I had. I didn't even realize that. The Knicks got busy from the free throw line in game 3. The Knicks shot 27 of 30 from the free throw line for 90% for the game. The Knicks went to the line 30 times, guys. Could you imagine? Unbelievable. Caller, you are on live SKF Weekly. Your name and where you calling from?
This is Corey Lindsay, calling from Rochester, New York.
What up, Corey?
What's up, Ron? I finally got through.
There you go, brother. About time.
And then
man.
when I kept trying to call, and then finally when I heard the ring buzz, I said, "Oh, this could be my lucky day."
It's about time, brother. Good to hear from you.
Yes.
Before you continue, let me just finish this thought. So,
go ahead.
The Knicks shot, like I said, they shot 30 free throws. They hit 27 of them for 90%. But what's even more remarkable, like I said, I had that on the graphic from earlier. The Knicks went 15 of 16 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. 93%. That's how you win basketball games, folks. We talk about the Knicks missing free throws all the time. Have you guys noticed that all the free throws they were missing in the Boston series, they've cleaned up and they've been knocking them down in this Indiana series, and Indiana's been the one missing the free throws. It's kind of Knicks are a weird team, man. They're weird. Anyway, what up, Corey? What's on your mind, bro?
Ron, I was in jitters of that game 3 yesterday when I was watching the game and watching the score at the same time. And especially us being down by 20, I said, come on, why are we putting ourselves in these holes again and then have to dig out to finally get the energy? And I mean, this would remind me of the series against Boston. I said, I mean, I know they've been trying. I know they're good on the road, but the thing is, they have to stop doing that, Ron. And I'm not saying it's not going to be easy, but next game 4, I'm hoping they could come out with a good lead on them and see how that makes a difference. But as long as we've been talking about the change lineup, oof, that was very, very critical, bro. And like you said, if that works the way it did, do it again. And that's exactly what I said. Do it again.
I'm with you.
Because it could give Indiana some serious problems.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. You know, like it's that whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it thing. Whatever works is the playoffs. Like people were saying in the chat, it's do or die. You got to do whatever you need to do to get it done. Whatever's working. Unfortunately, the only thing I'm a little scared about is that Rick Carlisle is such a good coach, and he is very good at making adjustments. If he makes an adjustment and figures the small lineup out, what do we do then? That's all I'm worried about. Like, what do we do? But I hope that's a good thing, because if he has to adjust to that, then maybe that means he's going to do something that we can capitalize on, and it'll be easier for Thibs to make a change. But we'll see. I don't know, bro.
I don't know either, but because luckily, if we were, I know being down 2-0 is a little tricky, but I had the faith that we had to get one, because once I know when we were good on the road, I said, they're going to get one in Indy. And I know they feel comfortable doing it again, because now, like you mentioned earlier, if the Knicks do win game 4, the home court advantage goes back on their side, and they know they're going to need that. They're going to need that. Because winning game 4 is really the most critical game of the series, especially, being down 2-1.
Right. Game 4 changes everything. You know what I mean? Because game 4, Knicks win game 4, that means we're going 6 at least, right? So that's important.
Exactly.
That's definitely important. I'm in agreement on that. So yeah, it's
and
very
important. We can't ask for nothing more than that.
Yeah, exactly. All I want is for the Knicks to keep winning games, because it keeps prolonging the series, which gives them a better chance at flipping this series back and going back in our favor. That's all I want. Just let's keep extending the series so that we can flip this thing around the way it needs to be. I mean, it's very upsetting that we have to, as fans, have to look at our team and say, man, we could have been doing this, or they could have been this, and nobody wants to hear that, because all right, you could have been, but you're not.
Right. Like the lady Ross said, if I could have, would have, should have.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I can't hear that no more. No.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I can't either.
Nah, because if all that if I could have, would have, should have, it's already too late. All it does is just bring excuses, and excuses ain't everything in life. You got to move on, forget about it. no matter what you go through, because everybody go through ups and downs, but we can't let the ups and downs just like eat us and put us through stress. We gotta laugh it off and hope for something better, bro.
Right, exactly. So let me ask you this: how did you feel about the way OG and Macau played in the game? Because we've been talking so much about the small lineup and their contributions. People have been talking about Brunson. We've definitely been talking about Cat and how great he was in that fourth quarter. But, we haven't really mentioned Macau and OG and how they played. And, they were kind of quiet. I mean, they scored. They had some points. I mean, OG dropped 16 and Macau had 15, but, quiet.
How do I feel about that with them being quiet? To be honest with you, Ron, I feel like it's a good signal for the basketball team, because at least of them being quiet, I feel like they're getting along. They're not trying to make no bad distraction of the team. They really feel like they can really enjoy playing with each other, and that's very important with the chemistry of those players like that. They're not trying to outplay one another, trying to think who's better than one another. You see what I'm saying? So I like it. It keeps the team in a good position.
And another thing, what keeps haunting me? I'm like, because Deuce played very good in this game, and he was it was nice to see what he contributed with. But I kept thinking, what if Deuce didn't get into foul trouble? How could this game have been different had Deuce been able to play and go out there and get to work? I'm like, man, if he wasn't in foul trouble, we lost out on him for like most of the first half, and he could have been getting busy, and maybe we wouldn't have even gone down 20 had Deuce been out there being able to contribute. But on the flip side,
agree.
Yeah, but on the flip side too is like if Deuce would have been playing, maybe we wouldn't have seen Shamet and Wright. I don't know. I don't know.
Nah, because to me, Shamet is very important, because not because of his 3-point shooter, but his defense is very strong. And, just like I've been preaching all along about putting DeLon Wright and Shamet together in the game, now you see the difference of what's bothering Indiana is the length. And, they can't really, break the defense down like that. Because when we started Cameron Payne was just not playing in focus. He was playing out of control. And I'm looking at this dude like, what is you doing?
Right. Yeah, you ain't lying, bro. Listen, man, we are in a situation where now it's one possession at a time, one game at a time. Smart
and that's
basketball.
The way you gotta look at it.
Smart basketball, bro. We got to get back. And this is everybody on the team. Everybody's got to get back to playing smart basketball. One of the things I loved about this team when they put it together, and I'm not even talking about really this year, I'm talking about last year, when I knew that they had brought in Josh Hart, when I knew that Brunson was here, when I knew that they brought in Dante, I was like, these three guys, forget the Villanova thing. I was like, the way that they play, they make good decisions. And now we've been tested, and guys have been forced to think quicker, and the decision making hasn't been as good. We have to mentally slow the game down in our minds. Even if the pace is still quick, you just have to slow it down. One of the things that I've been upset about, and this is just in the playoffs too, and it's happened in this series too, but it's in the whole playoffs. The Knicks get moments where they're trying to do so much in a game. How many times have we watched the Knicks get turnovers? Josh get a turnover, OG get a turnover, and then they throw it to Josh. Like, as soon as you get the ball, instead of holding it and just setting and go running your offense, no. They get the turnover and they're trying to move, and they throw it, and then they create another turnover on the other end, and the ball goes back to the other team. Like, they've made so many quick, rash decisions. They just got to slow it down, slow everything down, and take your time. And I think they'll be okay.
And, and I can't even disagree with you even more, because I'll be watching the stat on the phone, how the way the score keeps up with every play. And every time I see turnover for turnover, I'm like, what are y'all doing? I mean, that just kills me. Just like it would do the same for you. I'm like, come on. Either you're giving away a basket or you're just not playing smart. Like you said, slow it down. one possession at a time, because when you're down, you can't get all of it back in one possession. You got to chip away, chip away, chip away.
Facts. It's true. You just can't. It's not going to happen that way. It's never that easy. And the good thing about this Knicks team, I mean, where would we be if we didn't know how to come back from a deficit? We would have been cooked a long time ago. We wouldn't have made it past Boston. So at least they have that. At least they got that.
I know, because believe me, if it wasn't for us learning how to come back down big deficits, like you said, we'd have been cooked a long time. That had to come from defense and from players who's been there, done it.
Right. Shout out to Mitchell Robinson, who was always reminding them, we've been here before. Shout out to him, man. Mitch does a lot of stuff that's questionable, but sometimes, man, he steps up. He knows what to say sometimes.
Yep, and it really works.
Yeah.
I want to know what he's telling these people, telling his teammates right now for this game 4.
Yeah.
Right, telling like, come on, guys, we need this badly, like we did in game 3. We got to have it the same mentality to really try to even this thing up.
I agree. Listen, we're only like a half to 3/4 away from flipping it and putting the pressure on Indiana. They don't really feel the pressure right now. Right, because they're still up 2-1. Okay, the Knicks won a game. They're gonna be like, "Oh, no big deal. They won a game. All right, cool." But we still got the lead. Still got another game in our home before we have to switch. So they're not feeling it yet. But if we can go out in this next game tomorrow and go out to like a lead going into the half, or even get a nice lead, and they're gonna start to tense up, and that's when we flip the script. That's when we got them, and we just got to keep our foot on their necks. So I'm hoping, like I said, that's why I say I want the Knicks to come out smart, play smart, strong basketball tomorrow, come out the gate believing in each other, moving the ball around. Let's see, because quite frankly, if I know the playoffs changes things with the style of play, but if there's ever a playoff series where the Knicks can get those 25 plus assists, it's against Indiana. So the Knicks have just been, playing a lot of ISO ball, not just Brunson. A lot of guys just been calling their number and making their own individual moves. So they just got to start moving the ball around and creating the opportunities. It's not just about them passing. Guys got to move. The Knicks team, like I said, our offense is a little stagnant sometimes. We got to move. And if they start moving, I think they'll move the ball. I think they will. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. I think that's the wrinkle that they should try to do. Continue what they did defensively in the last game, but start moving. They can't do it like Indiana because that's Indiana's style. But just move around and move the ball with the movement of the guys, and you're going to see things open up.
Amen.
Hey, man. Corey,
and that's what I've been preaching, too. Got to move the ball. Can't be too stagnant, because that's how they get themselves in trouble, because it's been happening year after year. Just like you said, Ron, that when they don't move the ball and their players stay around and just be standing still and playing the ISO, that's how you get beat. And it can't happen in this game 4.
100%, bro. That's why I be saying, I know things look bad, but sometimes it'd be a trickle-down effect. Like one thing creates something else. Knicks play stagnant, right? They stand around, the ball doesn't move. Then when you get the ball to guys and you need guys to knock down shots, they're cold. Bridges is cold. OG's cold. Guys ain't knocking it down. And then who's going to come to the rescue? Brunson. And then you wonder, here goes Brunson calling his number, playing ISO. It's because at that point now he's forced to. And so you want to get the ball moving. You want to create the offense before we get to that point where guys ain't in rhythm. Because these guys, Cat and Brunson, are the only two guys on this team that I know, no matter what the game is, even if they start off cold, they can get hot. They can get it going. Everybody else got to get rhythm, right? So those two guys, I know they could be fine. It's a matter of time. But we got to get everybody else involved, and they got to get guys easy looks at baskets, layups. Remember when there was a point where OG Anunoby was like leading the league in dunks? Does the offense even look like it resembles that? No, he doesn't even get these type of he might get a dunk here and there. At some point, some games he was having like 6-7 dunks in a game. That's how easy it was. We got to get back to something. We got to get back to it.
Yes, because OG can make a big difference in the series if he just not just stay on his defense, but we need a little more score for OG. But last game, I saw his stats. He had 16 points, shot the ball well, missed only 3 shots, but the key thing, he made his threes, made 4 for 6, and he really did a good job of on defense. I think he had 3 blocks. If he can do that next game, that could be a big plus. But I would love for him to get at least maybe 25 or 26 next game, along with Brunson, Cat, and Mikal. But if they can get like them double-digit scores like they did against the Boston Celtics series, oh man,
yeah,
it could really, really turn the series around.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we know Boston has really good is a really good defensive team, and we were cooking them. We were up 40 in the third quarter. You telling me that we can't go get a lead and put the screws to Indiana at some point in the series? Come on, we could do it. They just got to keep focusing on what they were doing that worked defensively and believe in each other offensively and move the ball. They can get it done. They can get it done. We'll I have a feeling it could be tomorrow, but I don't want to, I don't want to go out on a limb.
Neither do I, because you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, and just say, like I said, everybody got to take it one day at a time.
Exactly. There you go, Dripmore. He said they ran one curl play for OG, but that's what I'm talking. How many times have I been saying, could I see Thibs call some easy plays, some backdoor screens, some cuts, a double screen here and there, get guys open, and do it for the players you don't think need it. Do it for Brunson. Do it for Cat. And then it becomes like a pattern. You start doing it for everybody. Man, it's so frustrating, bro. It's all right. What are you going to do? Anyway, Corey, I thank you for the call, my guy. I appreciate it. I'm glad you finally got the call in. We got to chop it up on this show. Appreciate you, my guy.
I appreciate you too, man. Definitely, I will keep trying to call back. I know it's not an easy line, but I would definitely keep trying because, I really appreciate your show. I mean, you're like a brother I could talk to, do good days and do bad days.
All right. Hey, listen, always, man. That's what I hope. I hope everybody feels comfortable and feels like this is a show that they could enjoy, but also feel comfortable to say what they want to say. That's why I want to say right now, chat, take it easy. Everybody's got different opinions. I know there's different people in here tonight, but let everybody get theirs off. You may not agree with it, but everybody deserves a chance to rock. So
that's right.
All right, Corey. Take care, my guy. Have a great night.
You too. Love you, bro.
Love you too, bro. Take it easy, man.
You already know.
All right. So, guys, I think that's pretty much it, man. I think this show, has been a great one, been fantastic. We've had some really good calls come in, and I've enjoyed chopping it up and talking with everybody, man. It's been fantastic. We just got to hope that, the expectations are tomorrow night, Knicks are going to come out with the confidence and play the same style of game that worked for them. Even if the personnel is different or he switches things up, we don't know. I mean, we could see Ariel Hukporti tomorrow for all we know. Like, anything can happen. This is what I want for tomorrow's game. I want the Knicks to come out smart, take care of the basketball, and I want them to stay out of foul trouble. That's all I'm asking. You got to there's benefits to everything. Like, I don't want them to change too much. I just want them to improve a couple things. Let's stay out of foul trouble. Brunson, get out of your own head. This is not you getting 4 and 5 fouls. The dude only fouled out 4 times in his career, and he's never fouled out in the playoffs except for that game against Boston. Like, what's going on? This is like we in the twilight zone. Like, we got to get right. And Cat needs to stay on the floor. He's so big and so important to this team. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. We need him out there. Yeah, and we just got to go from there, man. Believe in each other, move the ball, play defense, get in these guys' faces, and keep rebounding the ball. The one thing we didn't do well in this game is they out-rebounded us by 1. I think we had 36 rebounds. I think they had 37, or it's 38-37. But anyway, they out-rebounded us by 1, which is rare. Usually we have the advantage. So we got to do a better job of grabbing the boards and out-rebounding them. And that's how you can create dominance. That's how you can go off and get leads. When you have if they play the same way they played with a rebounding disparity, we can go out to a 8-10 point lead maybe and do something. So we'll see. Once again, I want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to the chat. You guys have been great. Thank you for those who've come in and are watching the show. Everybody on X, everybody on YouTube. Shout out to people on Facebook. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so. It helps my show and improves, the YouTube algorithm. That's what they want to see. So if y'all could do that, I'm blessed and feel highly favored if y'all can help me out with that. And if you don't know what it looks like, it looks a little something like this. Yeah, please smash that like button, y'all. Anyway, once again, I want to thank everybody. Damian Cox is in the building. He says the Liberty will be in the twilight zone if they don't take care of business and try to reclaim home court advantage. I hear that. Tori B says, I just want to win. I hear you, Tori. Let me take a quick update on what's going on. It's 3 minutes left. 3 minutes and 1 second. OKC is up 7, 116 to 109. We'll see what happens. It's 3 minutes. Anything can happen. They still got a little time to change it, but who knows? Shout out to have a good night, Tori. Shout out to Freeman48 in the building. Said absolutely when Brunson dribble, Pacers are excellent at trapping him. That is a very fair point, brother. Very true. Very true. Right? E. Gibson said it's crazy. We only had 13 assists last night. It's disgusting. That's atrocious. Atrocious. Horrible. Yeah, we got to be better, man. We got to be better. Okay. I think I got everybody. If there's anybody that joined, shout out to HRM in the building. Salute to you. 8 in the 4th alone for Cat. Yes. Talking about the listen, if there's anybody out there that I missed, please know it's not for lack of trying. Shout out to everybody. Love you all. Thank you for being here and rocking with me. But let's go Knicks, man. Remember what I always say, the good, the bad, the ups and downs, no matter what, we are still Knicks fans, y'all. Listen, take care of yourselves, be good to one another, enjoy your life because you only got one life to live, man. Tomorrow's another day, make the best of it. Take your time and use it wisely. I always say be good, and if you can't be good at it. Peace out, y'all. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one. Maybe you'll see me during the week. Who knows? Or you'll definitely see me walking and talking. So take care of yourselves. Peace out. One yourselves. I'm out. I'll holla. Oh man, I hope they win tomorrow. Let's go Knicks, man. Let's keep it going. Don't give us all a heart attack, man. We need y'all to do the right thing. Okay, please show us some love, Knicks fans. We're gonna show the players love. Hopefully, the players show us love. But anyway, let's be together, man, because there's a little bit of dissension here with this player needs to go. Let's start working on trade packages. No, we in the playoffs. We in the ECF, baby. Game 4 tomorrow. Let's go Knicks together. Let's not forget, we still Knicks fans. Y'all know the video. Y'all about to see it.
New York Knicks. First. Go Knicks.
We can finally, start playing, man. So much talk this whole summer. It's felt like so long because we've had so much to talk about. At times it's been kind of slow, but we've been talking, right? But we've actually had a really good off season for this New York Knicks team, and it's been very active. There's been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, Knicks family, we in the building. I am the Objective fan from the Objective Knicks fan channel. And I want to give a big salute to Ron and John from Still Knicks fans.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Knicks family, I'm Stephanie, a.k.a. Plus We are still Knicks.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Lady and the Chef from Two Knicks Chicks Podcast. Still a Knicks fan.
What's good, party people in place to be? It's the main man.
What's up, everybody? This is Steve Lodge 21 at Two Knicks Chicks Podcast, and I'm still a Knicks fan.
Yo, this is your boy Sim from Nothing But Knicks. Through all the struggles, through all the heartache and pain, ladies and gentlemen, I am still a Knicks fan.
Peace, y'all. This is Apollo Reed from the Garden Knicks crew. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm still a Knicks fan.
I'm still here. We're still here. Still Knicks fans. It's a fandom. It's a lifestyle.